vagina is a shell, a round, pink, tender shell, opening and closing, closing and opening. My vagina is a flower, an eccentric tulip, its center deep and acute, its scent delicate, its petals gentle but sturdy. I did not always know this. I learned this at the Vagina Workshop. I learned this from a woman who runs the Vagina Workshop, a woman who believes in vaginas, who really sees vaginas, who helps other women see their vaginas by seeing other women's vaginas. In the first session, the woman who ran the workshop asked us to draw a picture of our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vaginas. That's what she called it. She wanted to know what our own unique, beautiful, fabulous vaginas looked like to us. One woman who was pregnant drew a red mouth screaming with coins spilling out. Another very thin woman drew a serving plate with a sort of Devonshire pattern on it. I drew a big black hole, a big black dot with squiggly black lines coming out of it. The black dot was equal to a black hole in space, and the squiggly lines were meant to be your basic people or things or atoms that got lost in there. I saw my vagina as sort of an anatomical vacuum, sucking up particles and objects from the surrounding environment. I didn't see my vagina in practical or biological terms. I didn't, for example, see it as something attached to me. In the workshop, we were asked to look at our vaginas with hand mirrors. Then we were supposed to verbally report back to the group what we saw. I must tell you that up until this moment, everything I knew about vaginas was based on invention or hearsay. I had never really seen the thing. It had never occurred to me to look at it. My vagina existed for me on some abstract plane. It seemed so reductive and awkward looking at it the way we were on our shiny blue mats on our backs. It felt sort of like the way early astronomers must have felt with their primitive telescopes. I found it very unsettling at first, my vagina. Like the first time you see a fish cut open and you discover this other bloody, complex world inside. It was so raw, so red, so fresh. And the thing that surprised me most was the layers. The layers inside layers, opening onto more layers. My vagina amazed me. I couldn't speak when it came my time in the workshop. I was speechless. The woman who ran the workshop said I had awakened to what she called vaginal wonder. I just wanted to lay there on my mat with my legs spread, examining my vagina forever. It was better than the Grand Canyon, ancient and full of grace. It had the innocence and freshness of a proper English garden. It was funny, very funny. It made me laugh. It could hide and seek, open and close. Then, the woman who ran the workshop asked how many women in the workshop had had orgasms. 2 women tentatively raised their hands. I did not raise my hand, although I had orgasms. I did not raise my hand because although I had orgasms, they were accidental orgasms. They happened to me. They happened in my dreams, and I would awake in splendor. They happened a lot in water, mostly in the bath, once in Cape Cod. They happened on horses, on bicycles, on treadmills at the gym. I didn't raise my hand because although I had orgasms, I didn't know how to make one happen. I thought they were a magical, mystical thing. I didn't want to get involved, It felt wrong getting involved, contrived, manipulative. It felt Hollywood. The surprise had begun, and the mystery. The problem, of course, was that the surprise had been gone for 2 years. I hadn't had a magical, accidental orgasm in a long time, and I was getting frantic. That's why I was in the workshop. Then the moment arrived that I both dreaded and longed for. The woman who ran the workshop asked us to take out our hand mirrors again and see if we could locate our clitoris. There we were, the group of us women, lying on our backs, on our mats, looking for our spots, our reason, our locus, and I don't know why, but I started crying. Maybe it was sheer embarrassment. Maybe it was knowing that I had to give up the fantasy, give up the enormous, life-consuming fantasy that someone or something was going to come and do this for me. The idea that someone or something was going to come choose direction to lead my life, to give me orgasms. I could feel the panic coming, the simultaneous terror and realization that I had avoided finding my clitoris, that I had rationalized it as consumerist and mainstream because I was in fact terrified that I did not have a clitoris, terrified that I was one of those constitutionally incapable, dry, frigid, shut down, apricot tasting bitter. Oh my god. I lay there on my spot, reaching with my fingers, and all I could think about was that time when I was 10 and I lost my ring with the emeralds at the bottom of the lake. How I kept diving over and over to the bottom, searching, reaching my fingers over fish and stones and slimy stuff and bottle caps, but never my ring. The panic I felt, I knew I'd be punished. The woman who ran the workshop saw my insane scrambling, sweating, and heavy breathing. She came over. I told her, it's gone, I lost my clitoris, I shouldn't have worn it swimming. The woman who ran the workshop laughed. She calmly stroked my forehead. She told me my clitoris was not something I could lose. It was me, she said, the essence of me. It was both the doorbell to my house and the house itself. I didn't have to find my clitoris, I had to be it. Be it. Be it. Be my clitoris. I put the hand mirror down. I lay back and closed my eyes. I watched myself, floating above myself. I watched as I began to approach myself and re-enter. It was quiet, this re-entry, quiet and gentle. It was like an astronaut re-entering the surface of the earth. I bounced and landed and bounced. I came into my own blood and cells and muscles, and I slid into my vagina. It was suddenly easy and I fit. I was all warm and pulsing and young and alive. And then, without looking, my eyes still closed, I put my finger on what had suddenly become me. There was a quivering at first, which urged me to stay. Then the quivering became a quake and eruption, the layers dividing and subdividing. The quaking broke open onto an ancient horizon of light and silence, which opened onto a plane of music and colors and innocence and longing. And I felt connection, calling connection, as I lay there thrashing about on my little blue mat. My vagina is a shell, a tulip, and a destiny. I am arriving as I'm beginning to leave. My vagina, me.